Hi guys, it's Jess. Welcome to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, we have to discuss episode 5, season 2, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. The title of this episode should have been I Got a Lot Going On. We could have played a drinking game with it at this point because every time someone was confronted with the consequences of their actions or their words, it was, I have a lot going on. We all got pain, Effie, and I'm fed up. So let's get right into it. Um, yeah, I didn't realize how little time has passed. On the lower third, it said it was day 6 of, I think, 15. It was only day 6. These people have gone through so many emotional roller coasters in only 6 days that I am completely worn out and I'm not even there. The pregnancy hormones really hit Jasmine at the table, and she's saying that she needed so much support in all of these things. And I'm like, I'm sure you do. You're pregnant, you have to go through your pregnancy, labor, and delivery with your partner being deployed. Maybe had you been a better friend to these people last year and not made your whole identity being a wife, you would have the support that you need. And I think that's a trap that a lot of women fall into because we're socialized to believe that the best thing that you can be is a wife and a mother. So all of your other relationships are secondary, when in actuality, you need community and you need support, and you cannot abandon those people in pursuit of that marriage only. Like, obviously, put effort into it, but other people in your life matter as well. And that becomes really evident to you once you need those people again. Once your husband, like if for some reason your husband isn't there. And I'm not one of those people who believes that your partner is supposed to be your 100% end all be all. You need a community of people to provide you. Like, we all need community. We all need to be community for each other, to provide each other with the support needed to get through life, because life is hard. So I think that Jasmine is just being confronted with the consequences of her own choices. Preston asked a really valid question of Bria when it comes to the Mariah thing, where it's just like, why are you constantly trying to make a thing and you're not a thug? No one is afraid of you. I am really exhausted with Bria's behavior. I think that Bria's behavior actually borders on abusive, because you cannot get drunk and talk as crazy as she was talking to people that night and it's, oh, I was drunk. So Jasmine ends up saying that Mariah isn't staying at the house, but she will be around for the festivities anyway. And she wants to give Bria grace because Bria is one of the few people who showed up for Silas's going away. And, I guess that makes her feel some sort of loyalty to her. Excuse me. So, like, okay, girl, sure. I'm also so tickled at how Milo was in there absolutely destroying that room while Bria was having a drunk meltdown with everyone else. Y'all, Nick and them hoochie daddy shorts really send me. Especially because that one episode he wore the hoochie daddy shorts with the crop top. And it's just like, Nick, you be making some choices, honey. Let me go back to the Bria Preston thing in my notes. I'm curious as to why Preston always feels compelled to give Bria so much grace. I don't love that he had this conversation with Phil. I think that some people aren't deserving of that kind of attention, but I am proud of Preston for confronting something that was triggering for him. I'm also really happy that he threw some shade right back at Phil, because Phil was saying that he's a comedian and he gets paid for it and, makes money being a comedian. And Preston asked him, oh, do you make a lot of it? So I absolutely love that, but I hate that the onus to repair relationships or to be the bigger person always falls on women or queer people. Not always, but often. And I didn't like Bria. It felt like she was pressuring him to do that. And maybe it was something that he wanted to do anyway, to have the conversation with Phil. But I was just like, girl, bye. But happy for him. He got, he faced a trigger, and that's growth. So why would Bria try to take that dog to the club? As a New York resident, this was so triggering for me because I cannot stand entitled dog owners. Dogs are dogs. Dogs should be treated humanely. They are domesticated pets. We all love a dog just as much as the next person, but dogs do not belong everywhere that you are unless it is a service animal. And if your anxiety is so bad that you need to have a dog with you in the club, maybe you shouldn't go to the club. And that's just how I feel about that. Like, Bria is so incredibly entitled, and I don't know how things work in other places in the world. 'Cause I live in America, but it's ridiculous for you to have thought that you could bring that dog in there. I also don't understand or really like her and Simon's relationship. I don't think that Simon gives a shit that Bria isn't around, to be honest. And she's saying that he's so used to having someone cook and clean for him, and I'm not there, so it gives him anxiety. Simon is a grown ass man. If you don't know how to cook and clean for yourself to the point that it gives you anxiety and is impacting your relationship, then it is entirely possible you need to outsource those services. That's just weird. Their relationship just seems odd to me. It's not like y'all are being separated for months at a time. This is a couple weeks. Like, girl, calm down. I can't. I can't with Bria. I can't. This is also why I find those kinds of gender roles so confusing, because we're all adults here. And if you are an able bodied adult, you should know how to, if you don't know how to cook for yourself, at least source food, okay? And keep your space clean. That's just basic life skills. It shouldn't give you anxiety that the person, that your partner isn't there to do that stuff. Figure it out. I can't with that. I love that Amir makes himself so useful in the house. He's always cooking and cleaning. Speaking of gender roles, like, be useful. Speaking of Amir, his relationship with Natalie seems entirely toxic to me. Everything we hear about her makes her seem very insecure and psychotic, and the way that he just is constantly placating her makes me uncomfortable. To say, I'm expected to figure out what's wrong with her. I know something's wrong, but I just have to figure it out. No, this is an adult relationship. If you got a problem, you need to communicate it to me. Otherwise, it ain't no problem. That's not gonna work for me, sweetheart. If you got an issue and you don't bring it to the pulpit, ain't no issue. That's your problem then. That's not a we problem, that's a you problem. I don't like Natalie. Just based on what we've seen, I don't like her, I don't like it. So once again, there's a conversation about Summer and Alex. And the girls are saying to Summer, like, or Noelle rather, is like, you know, if I had known that you guys slept together, I wouldn't have even approached you about talking to him. And it felt like kind of a setup that you didn't tell me there was more involved. You didn't like warn me, whatever, whatever. Summer immediately gets defensive and storms off. I think that Noelle was coddling her by going to talk to her any further about the Alex situation. This is obviously still so triggering for Summer because of the language that she uses to describe the relationship. He's been inside me. I made him come so many times. That is so weird to say. That is so weird to say. And I'm not a prude, but like, why is that the language that you're using to talk about this? Are you trying to distance yourself from the emotions? Like, what is it? Summer is an odd duck to me. Very odd duck. And I don't understand why she felt ganged up on. Girl, wasn't nothing happening to you? It's giving white woman. I don't like it. I barely saw or noticed Jordan this episode. Like, she was just kind of in the background. Further to Alex's point, she's just kind of in the background this season. And I guess because she has a lot going on. Everyone has a lot going on. Jasmine finally announces her pregnancy, which didn't surprise anyone but Amir. And we're not surprised by that. Of course, Amir was the only one who didn't know. I didn't know that you could suck in a pregnant stomach that much. That was wild to me. Why did Jordan in her confessional make the comment about this possibly being, like, whether or not this was Silas and Jasmine's first baby? Why would she say that? That was so ugly. And to say that you're not trying to be shady, of course you were. Because why wouldn't that be your assumption anyway? That was really ugly. Jordan, you're starting to give a little bit of jealousy. It's starting to look like you, because for me, I felt for the longest time that Jordan just doesn't like what marriage has turned Jasmine into, but it's starting to kind of look like you feel the way that Jasmine is married and you're not. And I hate that because, like, I don't like, as single women, we get labeled as being bitter, like, by default. It's, oh, you must be jealous. You must not be happy for me. You must whatever because you don't have what I have. I hate that. Because let me kick it to you, like, all the way. A lot of times, baby, don't nobody want your situation. Don't nobody want the nigga that you settling with, okay? You're good most of the time. But Jordan is starting to give a little bit of that, a little bit hater, you know? Every now and again, there actually is a single woman that is bitter and jealous. And Jordan is starting to give that. And I don't love that for her. That was a really ugly thing to say with no basis. Silas gave us a lot last season in terms of being like very misogynistic and very controlling. He did not give cheater though. So I don't know why she threw that out there if the intention wasn't to just be messy or shady. That was ugly. Um, y'all know that Apollo night took me down. Y'all know I cannot handle secondhand embarrassment, and I didn't understand any of what took place. I wish that didn't happen, and I would like the last 5 minutes of my life back from having witnessed that. I didn't understand what the meows were. The whole thing was strange. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. The whole thing. I also cannot stand to hear people read poetry, whether it's chat GPT poetry or not. People reading poetry makes my skin crawl. I enjoy poetry. I want to read it in my head. I don't want to hear it read out loud. It makes me uncomfortable. So that's it for episode 5. Not a whole lot. We're here. We're still trailing along. Slide in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. I felt like it was a little bit of filler. It looks like next episode things are really going to heat up. So check back in with me so we can discuss that. Be sure to like and comment, subscribe, share, join our Patreon to give me some money. Okay? In this economy, shoot your girls some money. Talk soon.